Larry hit me and said, hey, I can't be the only one that thinks that USC still has a ways to go with this so-called defensive revolution that's being gassed up right now. What am I supposed to do with this? This just gets dropped in my lap today. Bradley comes to me, says, hey, you want to throw this in the show? No, but yeah, go ahead and do it. Larry, the revolution started 10 minutes ago. It was just like 10 minutes ago that Lincoln Riley looked in the mirror and said, I got to change everything about my program. So, Larry, it shocked you, maybe. It did not shock me that in USC's literal spring game, they didn't look like the 85 Bears. You kidding? Really? It's not figured out yet, huh? I admire Lincoln Riley for making this call. They're going to be bad defensively again this year. So two things could be true there. Lincoln Riley made the call he needed to. He made the moves he needed to. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the philosophical shift pressed all the right buttons and they start moving in the right direction. But this is not a one-year deal. He knows that. I mean, Lincoln Riley knows that. I'm not talking to him. I'm talking to folks who think that all you have to do in college football to totally overhaul a way that you play this game is say it. Just speak it into a microphone and have a few practices in spring, and you're good to go. That's not real life. This is not Xbox, Larry. Unplug it, man. This is the real world. You can't just go revolutionizing a defense on a whim. Imagine this, Larry. Imagine if Kirk Ferentz at Iowa stepped to the podium and said, we're going to try to be elite on offense. And after you got through chuckling, you watched the Iowa offensive spring game and you said, what? This offensive revolution seems like it's missing a little something. Players. That's what it's missing. Time and players. USC was horrific last year defensively. They were 100th or worse in virtually every major defensive statistical category. Put another way, they'd have to improve significantly to just be below average defensively this year. They tore it down to the studs. They're rebuilding it from scratch. They're still installing. I don't care what Lincoln Riley says. I don't care that he says he loves how it went. He may love how spring went. They're still installing this thing. They throw, I guarantee you what they did is they met as a staff and they said, screw it. Throw as much at him as you possibly can. See what sticks against the wall. A lot of it's going to fall down to the ground. And we can scoop all that up and we can deal with that in May and June and July. And then we get after it in August. And hopefully we have a respectable product we can put on the field. They're not slow playing it. I guarantee you they're not feeding little Gerber baby applesauce to those guys. They're throwing it at them. They don't have good enough players right now. Defensive revolution, I don't care if Lincoln Riley hired all the right guys and made all the right moves. This is what I was trying to explain earlier in the show. I got immense respect for Lincoln Riley for doing this. Doing it right from this point forward at USC is going to take a couple of years minimum to get anywhere close to the kind of product on the field that you want. Like I said, it's going to sound like I'm going at Larry. I'm not. This is just, Larry's not ignorant. Larry is not ignorant. He said an ignorant thing. This is bumper sticker logic, okay? This is like the food when you are in the airport and you go to the Starbucks and you look at the samples of the food there. It looks like a maple chicken biscuit. That thing's been there 3 years. It is for aesthetics and cosmetic purposes only. Don't be biting into that thing. That's what this tweet was. It was like a showroom tweet. It's not built to withstand any legitimate scrutiny. It's not built to be walked through to a logical conclusion. Larry just threw that thing out there and then hit the gas and drove away. Well, we saw it, Larry. And Bradley, the associate, saw it, and thank goodness he brought it to my attention. Even if every correct button is pressed at Southern Cal, they will be well below average defensively this year. But you can feel it changing. You can feel the recruiting shift happening. Look at them right now. Don't be coming back. Don't be throwing it in reverse, Larry, and peeling your way back down the road and saying, recruiting rankings mean nothing in April. Well, yes, they do. Yet they don't mean everything. They don't mean everything. But like I do every year, when I talk about someone's recruiting class, and then someone tells me those commitments mean nothing, and I say, yes, they do, and you say, no, they don't, and we do that for like 5 more times, I tell you, put up $500 per kid. And for everyone who stays committed, you pay me $500. And for everyone who decommits and goes elsewhere, I pay you $500. No one ever takes me up on the offer. Because while they know, yes, there will be kids who decommit, even I know that, the bulk majority of the commitments are going to stick. They do every year, guys, in major classes. The reason I'm saying that about Southern Cal is because they're making some noise in recruiting right now. Defensive guys at premium defensive positions from the South. And they hadn't done that to this point under Lincoln Riley. So this sounds like I'm hating on USC. Quite the opposite. I'm dealing some truth on USC. It may be in short supply because there is the school of Larry out there that believes once you step to a podium and say, you're revolutionizing your defense, you're changing your defense, it's just changed. There it is. And if it doesn't look that way at the conclusion of spring practice, well, you must have dropped the ball on that one. No, Larry, that's not the way it works. But thank you for your submission.